Givers need to set limits because takers do not have any. And the takers do not have at all. They'll never tell you no for if they continue benefiting from something from you. You understand? So trying to make them feel bad is not going to work. Trying to make them connect to you is not going to work. Because if I'm a taker, if you have no issues and no problems, Steve, are giving me $20 every day, you feel if you come and you try and come and tell me, well, I cannot do it today because I have other commitments. I have to pay my light bill and my children don't have nothing to eat. And I say my no, and then I try and give all other explanations, overly explaining. You feel the taker care about what you're saying there?
I don't think so.
No, they're not. In their mind, it's just like, okay, well, you can't give you 20 today. Maybe tomorrow. You understand? They will never say, well, I am sorry I was taken from you. No.
And you have so many responsibilities.
And I didn't realize that. You feel they don't know that? But the fact that they ask you and you say yes, you feel like going to talk you out of saying yes and I know I want the $20? I ask you, you say yes, you're giving it to me, I taking it. Welcome everybody to Master Your Mindset. And today we're diving into people pleasing. Have you ever said yes to something that you didn't want to do just to avoid conflict or disappointing someone?
Yes.
Well. That means today that show is for you. Because I've done it before and I feel like many of us have done it as well. Yes. So what is people pleasing, right? It is an excessive desire to gain approval from others, even at personal expense. Let me let you all sit with that. It is an excessive desire to gain approval from others, even at personal expense, even at your own expense.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So from you are doing that, that means you are people pleasing. Now, based on, everything for me has to be backed to science because we're dealing with the mindset. So backed by neuroscience, it often stems from fear of rejection. That's why you people please. Or the low self-worth. Or childhood conditioning. So childhood trauma, things that probably was said to you when you were younger. Like, 1 + 1 is 2. However way they told you have to do this to get this.
Right.
So childhood conditioning. So it either comes from fear of rejection, low self-worth, childhood conditioning. Now, the last time we spoke, we were talking about the difference between people-pleasing and support, right? Now, people-pleasing is very different from genuine support, right? Because people-pleasing is all about seeking validation. So it doesn't come from generosity.
Okay.
So for support is supposed to give without expectations. It's supposed to have healthy boundaries, right? So these are the two main characteristics of when you decide you're extending support to somebody. Because true kindness is not self-sacrifice. These two are not the same. Generosity not supposed to come at the expense of self-destruction.
Okay.
So when you're supporting, you genuinely give without expectations. You do healthy boundaries where you don't actually deplete yourself. You don't destroy yourself in the efforts to help somebody. So that's how you separate the two.
Okay.
Now, many people think it makes them nice when they accommodate. Right? But chronic people pleasing, which means chronic in the sense of if you're constantly doing it, that could lead to burnout, that could lead to resentment, that could lead to loss of identity. And truth of the matter is there is no positive advantage of people pleasing. I want to repeat that. They have no positive, no positive. They don't have not one win for people pleasing, especially as it comes at your personal expense. There's no winning for people pleasing, right? So with that being said, let's look at some of the disadvantages of people pleasing, since we said there's no advantages of it, right?
Right.
So one of them would be emotional and psychological toll. So increased stress and anxiety because you are constantly prioritizing others, so therefore you feel overwhelmed.
Okay.
You have resentment and burnout. You're giving too much, without receiving, so that leads to exhaustion. The prolonged stress in itself, because we all know stress is like that secret killer. It is. It is the secret thing that comes up to you, and you just all of a sudden have all of these complications. Stress is like one of the biggest killers that we don't even notice when you have chronic stress and prolonged stress. And chronic stress in itself can manifest in different ways. So you end up being fatigued, you end up having tension, headaches. You can even have digestive issues due to constant stress. Now, all of that stress is because you overly exert yourself. For Paul, Peter, John, Mary, and the Lamb, all of them. Every single one, right? And the last two is those I find that's really personal. That's why I want us to try to break from that habit. Is one, a loss of identity. Right? That's another disadvantage. So people pleasers tend to struggle to know what they truly want. And that in itself is a big deal for me. Because you all of a sudden now you don't even know what you like, what you want to get, what you want to do, simply because you're so conditioned and you're so accustomed of helping everybody get that you get left behind. You no longer have an identity. You have a codependency now that basically is attached to others.
And as you're saying, that happens a lot in relationships when it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife.
Right. It does happen. And the last one is your goals tend to suffer.
True.
Because you are too busy pleasing others. You don't have no time for yourself. So where is Sarah time? Where is Steve time? After I watch your to-do list and everything on it is for John and Peter, I don't see your name at all on the to-do list. We're going months and we're just existing. We know we're alive, we're breathing, we get up, we go to work, but nothing that we actually want to get done gets done. But then every time I ask you what you're doing, you're busy. And when you're busy doing something for somebody else.
Right.
Versus trying to get something done for you.
Agreed. Understood.
Yeah.
Now, guys, if you are just tuning in, just a quick reminder, just a refresher for you. You are listening to Mastering Your Mindset. Yes. We have Sarah Chronicles on the inside. And if you want to weigh in, you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a WhatsApp message, 2850955, 2850955. Again, if you have any questions, you have anything that you want to add, this is how you get onto us, okay? So take it away, Sarah.
Yes. So now we earlier mentioned that it is tied to fear of rejection, right? Now, this is how the brain actually works. So when there is the brain and the fear, right? Your brain is wired for social acceptance. We needed it, our ancestors, the people long before, needed it to survive, right? It always had to be this community thing. Right? So by default, it's wired for social acceptance. From little to it's just conditioned from generation to generation to generation. So you always want to fit in. You always want your friends to like you. You want everybody to notice you. It is something that we've been wired for, conditioned for, prepared for. I can use any of the terms. Right? Now, the amygdala, right? It's a fear center part of the brain. It's amygdala. Okay. It's a mouthful, but it basically refers to the fear center, right, of the brain, right? That what happens in rejection is it triggers a threat response to the body when we anticipate rejection. So all of a sudden we tense up. We feel a type of way because we're afraid that the person might say no. It's a part of the brain that does that. So to avoid that feeling, that rejection feeling, people pleasers tend to avoid that pain. Okay. So to avoid that feeling, I mean, come on. There are things that, for me, I fear insects. So by the time if I see a spider, I'm sorry, Steve. If I see a spider, I am running for the hills.
You will not be leaving me behind. I can tell you that much.
I'm leaving you there, my girl.
No.
I'm leaving you there.
No. Well, let me tell you, I hope both you and I can pass through the door together.
Because I don't do insects. I don't do insects, no.
No.
So you see that kind of fear that manifests in me when I see a spider. So you don't think I avoiding the spiders by default? I feel maybe if the spiders knew I'd fear them, they would make me people please too. All of a sudden I'd be washing the tallow of the spider legs. All because I am afraid.
Right.
So that feeling, to be honest, is a very uncomfortable feeling.
Very.
And due to how we were wired for social acceptance, when we fear that we might have rejection, that tense up feeling happens. And it's not a nice feeling, to be quite honest. So by default, the people pleasers tend to avoid conflict, avoid that emotional pain, avoid that tension, just so that they can avoid that feeling. Right? Now, in addition to that, dopamine and validation, right? When we receive approval, the brain releases dopamine, which is basically the feel good, the happy chemical. I just say the joy juice.
Right.
Right? Now, this is what makes it hard because of these two things. That's why it makes it hard for you to break the habit of people pleasing. Because one, you're trying to avoid that fear feeling because it's uncomfortable. You don't like it. And in addition to that, when you do seek validation and you try to please the other person, the dopamine feeling that you give yourself, you get addicted to that feeling. Someone like a high.
Right.
So we have escaping one emotion to get another emotion.
Yeah.
And then we're caught in the middle. So what's our solution? We people please. Because one, we people please to avoid that feeling of rejection. And then we people please to gain that dopamine feeling, that feel good energy when we're actually giving somebody something, we're doing something for somebody else.
Right.
Now, although dopamine is a good feeling, it's supposed to be the feel good chemical, and it's on the joy juice.
Right.
The good stuff. Even if that in itself is a good emotion, as we mentioned earlier, they don't have no advantage to people pleasing. Right. There's nothing good about people pleasing. Even if the feeling is good, at the expense of the chronic fatigue that you could get, the constant stress that you can get, the loss of identity that happens, the self-neglect that happens. So for the little moment of that chemical release, is it really worth it that much? At the expense of everything else that you're actually throwing away?
Right.
When you look at it that way, it's not really worth it, eh? All right, because as we mentioned earlier on, true kindness is not self-sacrifice. Generosity and giving and support is not supposed to come with self-destruction. It's supposed to be given freely. Now, due to the science behind people pleasing, the reaction, as we mentioned, avoid one feeling, get the joy juice on the other end, it would be scientifically hard to break the habit of people pleasing. But doesn't mean that it cannot be done.
Right.
Just like any other habit, you can rewire your brain to get that done. You can do that. Now, thankfully, with our neuroplasticity, which is basically what it means is that the brain is not stagnant. It is not fixed. So as you go through life, your brain can adjust and take new information, which means that you can release old habits and develop new habits.
Okay.
Nothing is set in stone. Your brain is flexible. So one way we can do that is to build self-awareness. So recognize, Steve, when you are about to say yes to something somebody asks you, and just ask yourself before you say yes, am I saying yes out of guilt? Like you feel like you owe this person something or this person has something on you? Or are you saying yes out of fear? Fear of rejection, fear that they might be upset, fear of conflict, fear that, oh my God, that means that person might not be my friend again, that person might say things and stuff about me. So first step to trying to overcome people pleasing is to try to acknowledge when it actually happens. So notice when those emotions come, and in that moment there you will realize, okay, this is what Sarah was talking about.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to do that. I'm doing this because I do not want, this person to be upset with me. I do not want this person to not speak to me anymore.
Right.
2 is learning to say no. I'm not asking you just to tell the person, no, I'm not doing nothing for you because Coach Sarah tell me.
Hey, but that's exactly what I was going to say.
Let me tell you, because Coach Sarah tell me, when I feel that type of way, I'm supposed to tell you no. So I'm saying no. Please, you don't have anybody coming after me with pitchforks and knives and saying, because of you, my Maui, my husband, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my friend is not doing things because you tell them to say no. But when you notice those emotions, after you have identified the real reason why you're doing this stuff and you realize it's out of guilt, out of fear, of conflict, rejection, whichever, you will need to say no in that moment. Do not just say no and throw me under the bus. But you could say, no, I would love to help, but I have other commitments. I'm not able to do that. And
so lie.
No, not to lie, Steva. Oh my God.
But what if I have no other commitments?
Steva, God, so I lie.
No.
Wow, so that went from 0 to...
No. Okay. On a very serious note.
So I lie. No, don't lie.
All the reasons
I am not asking you all to lie. However, let's be realistic.
Right.
There are things that you want to do that you could do for yourself in that time. So by default, you do have other commitments. It's all about prioritizing and realizing that you matter too.
Right.
So no, you're not lying. I have to put that out there. They have things, Steva. I am sure if I take out all the tasks that you have on your to-do list for other people, and we start to identify the things that you want to do, you're going to realize that you don't even have enough time in your day to do, and realize, why was I even putting that off?
Right.
So notice the emotion, step 1. Step 2, learn to say no, don't lie, because you do have prior commitments. And as we mentioned in our last stuff, there's a difference between busy and being productive. And in addition to that, rest is also productive. Your body needs rest.
Yes, agreed.
It is a form of productivity. So, yes, no, I cannot do it for you. You notice the emotions, you realize, okay, well then, you know what, I'm doing that is causing me to do this for the wrong reasons. I'm not committing to that. Go ahead and do something else. Right? And the final one is to strengthen your boundaries. So you set limits on your time and energy. So you're not lying, but you don't need to overly explain. You see, for the moment you start to overly explain, you're going to catch yourself in a lie. That is when you'll be like, well, I cannot do this because I have to go by the road and get that for my mother, and my mother at work, so she cannot come. And then you're going to don't overly explain, because you're going to end up making a story, and then that's when you might end up selling out yourself, because your story might not make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's say, for example, you decide to tell me no, and you say, oh, but I have to go and pick up my kids because they leave in school at that time. And I have to be like, but Steva, didn't you say on that day they have lessons and they leave school at that time? What you doing now when I catch you in the lie?
So you mustn't lie.
No, exactly. Don't lie. And to avoid that unnecessary tension and that unnecessary conversation, don't overly explain yourself.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, so simply say, no, I cannot do it because I have other commitments. I cannot do it at this time. That time doesn't work for me. Whichever response is simple, that's good enough to go.
Yes.
That is good enough to go. Now, I know if you're constantly been struggling with people pleasing, those 3 steps are going to not happen instantly. And you're going to have some repetition. You're going to have to do this consistently. But what you could do is start with something small. Like start saying no to minor things. Right?
Okay.
So not, like I say, not big projects and big commitments, but you could start saying no to smaller ones. And as you continue to say no, you will start to build confidence. Right?
Now, don't go on a no rampage, you know.
No, well,
you know
that
some
is
of your
why
already.
the step, Steva, is first one, identify, right? Notice when you are committing to stuff for the wrong reasons. So you are saying yes because you are afraid that they would reject you. You are afraid of conflict. You doing it out of guilt. You feel like a person have one on you. So you feel like you owe them, right? You will know what I'm talking about. Those moments will come. Not every moment you'll have those feelings where you will genuinely want to support. But there will be the moments where somebody will ask you. Because whilst I'm speaking there, I'm sure somebody in particular comes to mind. You see how she say, that's her way of saying that she's guilty. Whilst I'm saying that, somebody does come in mind. A moment does come to mind. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. In these moments, notice that you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Comfortably say no. And don't overly explain yourself, because you're new to this, right? You're practicing trying to break yourself from people pleasing. When you start overly exerting, like we say, you might be caught in a lie. You might start saying things that are not adding up, that not making sense.
Okay, so everybody say it with me. No.
Yes, no. And I am big on boundaries, because givers need to set limits because takers do not have any.
Ooh, yep. This is a saying.
Givers need to set limits because takers do not have any.
Yeah.
So you have to practice those 3 steps. And then in moments where, let's be realistic, you've been doing that for some time now, you've been conditioned to be that way, and you decide to try this today because you want something different for yourself. And you figure, you know what, I want to try and prioritize me this year. I want to focus on me a little bit more. I want to do things differently. So you do that. Afterwards, y'all know already, I just give it to you all raw. After you do that, self-doubt might creep in. You might hear a little voice and say, you have to say it like that. You understand?
Feel a little guilt, yeah.
You still might end up feeling a little guilt because you are so conditioned to please and help the other person. It might feel off to you doing the right thing. You might feel bad doing the right thing. You might have had a little whisper telling you, maybe you should have do it and just tell them that's the last time you're doing it for them.
Wait. Okay, so I've heard myself.
You heard yourself, yes, yes. And that is because you are so comfortable in helping others. It is a priority in your mind. So when you go against that, it's almost like you're fighting yourself. Your mind will say, well, you know what? Maybe I should give them a little chance again, you know? Just one last chance, make them know I'm not helping them again. After that, that's it.
We finish with that.
Yeah, and we know, you know, and I know that's not the, you're not finished with it. You see the fact that you have to try and talk yourself out of it? No.
I'm done.
So that little emotion is going to come. When that comes, I want you to remind yourself in that moment that my worth is not based on how much I do for others. You need to remind yourself in that moment. In that moment when the voice come and the voice try and make you go against what you know that's right. Yes. Remind yourself, Steva, that your worth is not based on how much you do for others.
It is not. It is not. Amen.
It is not. It is not. So I want you all to try that today.
Oh.
Today. Okay. Today. Don't say that. Oh, they're like, boy, you had already tell somebody today was the last time. That's what had happened to you there. You had that conversation in your mind. No, you didn't.
No. What about you scratch my back, I scratch yours?
Yes, that's different.
Oh.
But if nobody's not scratching your back, sis, why are you scratching their back?
Oh.
And if you are scratching their back, it shouldn't be because you want to gain approval from them. It should be support, as we mentioned. You genuinely want to help others without expecting something in return. Okay?
So I was just asking for somebody, you know.
You was asking for yourself.
Don't say life coach Sarah say.
Yeah, I know, right? Don't say life coach Sarah say. Tell me to tell you no, because you're using me. And then I have people in my DMs telling me I am ruining relationships. So yeah. But do explain yourself politely and firmly. And as we mentioned, givers need to set limits because takers do not have any. And the takers do not have at all. They'll never tell you no for if they continue benefiting from something from you. You understand? So trying to make them feel bad is not going to work. Trying to make them connect to you is not going to work. Because if I'm a taker, if you have no issues and no problems, Steve, giving me $20 every day, you feel if you come and you try and come and tell me, well, I cannot do it today because I have other commitments. I have to pay my light bill and my children have nothing to eat. And I say my no, and then I try and give all other explanations, overly explaining. You feel the taker care about what you're saying there?
I don't think so.
No, they're not. In their mind, it's just like, okay, well, you can give me 20 today. Maybe tomorrow. You understand? They will never say, well, I am sorry I was taken from you. No.
And you have so many responsibilities.
And I didn't realize. You feel they don't know that? But the fact that they ask you and you say yes, you feel like going to talk you out of saying yes and I know I want the $20? I ask you, you say yes, you're giving it to me, I taking it. And that is how some people operate.
It's true.
That's why we have to try and separate, and I'm big on the boundaries, because overly depleting yourself, the loss of identity that comes with people pleasing, not realizing what you want, putting your goals on the side, that goes against everything that I stand for. Because I'm all about you mastering your mindset. I'm all about you moving forward. So we have to break some self-sabotaging habits, and people pleasing is one of them.
Okay.
We have to practice trying to put ourselves first, because at the end of the day, that's the longest relationship we have.
Yes.
That's the person that stuck with us the most.
Me.
Yeah, so we have to put this together. And I know it's going to take some practice. So I want you to start trying with small stuff and work your way up to those, like they say, those dreaded stuff that you overly committed yourself to. But start small, continue practicing. The good thing about the brain and the mind is when you do it and you realize, So I said no. And the horrible feeling I was tensing up about, I was afraid about, you're like, hey, but it's not that bad.
It's not.
You're going to realize that it's not that bad. And then when you realize it's not that bad, hey, but I survived that, that's okay.
Yeah.
Your brain is going to process that as a healthy reaction. So automatically, it starts to build confidence. So then now, as you continue to practice the small no's, when it gets to the bigger ones and you realize, hey, but that person trying to take advantage of me, it comes very easy for you to say, me, I'm not doing that. You might not even say, sorry, I have other commitments. You might just get to the point.
You are accustomed now.
Yeah, you're accustomed now to realizing and noticing those unhealthy reactions. And now no becomes easy for you. But you realize, hey, no, not me you're taking advantage of today.
Not today.
Not today you're doing that. So when it comes back, oh, nope, that's all right.
Because life coach
that's
Sarah
okay.
said.
That's all right. That's okay. I'm not doing that because your worth is not based on how much you do for others. Your worth is from you. Right. Nobody cannot put a value on you. You put the value on you. You set the expectations. You set the rules.
Right.
So anybody that comes in, anybody that interacts with you has to just the rules that you set. You set the bar for yourself. You set your worth. Nobody else is supposed to do that for you. Nobody else can do that for you. Nobody else should do that for you. So don't allow others to do that for you. Do it for yourself. It starts with you. Yes?
Right.
And if you all feel like you're struggling with that a bit, I always say my DMs are always open.
Slide right in.
Slide in my DMs. Let me know what emotions, if you feel like you have other emotions that manifest and you're not sure, and you're just trying to understand what's happening, because growth can be messy. Personal growth, people paint it online, you go online and they make you feel like, oh, I just get up today and I was this way and I just turned to that way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no. There's mountains, there's valleys, there's high moments, there's low moments in between. But what I'm here to do is help you to find the balance. That way you don't spiral and you keep going. You remain consistent. And just like anything else, you remain consistent, you start to see results.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
And on no rampage.
No, Steve, oh my God.
Okay.
Because I'm picking people up on my expense. Because they will not say it's Steven that told me to do it. It's me.
Okay. On a serious note.
Yes.
On a serious note.
Right.
Listen to the life coach, people. Listen to your life coach. Listen to what Sarah has to say.
Yes.
She is correct. And everything she has said so far has been backed by science.
Yes.
Right?
Backed by science, yep.
Yes. Now, Sarah knows what she's talking about, guys.
You say, oh, listen to that, yes.
Sarah knows what she's talking about. Right?
Yes.
So, Sarah, again, with your handles.
It is Sarah Chronicles _ on Instagram.
Right.
And you could get me on WhatsApp, 1758-732-1600.
All right. Awesome then.
All right. So, bye, guys.